Remember back in 2017 when Spiral used to be tier 0? That deck could make huge boards on top of playing through several interruptions with Spiral Resort and the Tough Agent combo. But it always suffered from two things, hand traps and it's your boy Baguska. And I'm not gonna lie, that card's kinda nice if you know what I'm saying. It has an effect kinda similar to Skill Drain, but at the same time very different. Under a Skill Drain, people can use crafty strategies to dodge it by getting rid of their monsters so that when they resolve, they're no longer on the field. But with Baguska, you can't do that. You cannot dodge the card, period. Not to mention that Baguska's Skill Drain-esque effect is continuous, so even monsters like Expurely Noir are affected by it. That makes Baguska a broken card both going first and second. Against the Purely deck going second, if they have Expurely Noir, all you have to do to threaten them is summon 2 level 4 monsters and they're forced to use Expurely Noir to spin one of them. Otherwise, you can sit on Baguska and take all the sweet time in the world to climb into an Access Code or an Underworld Goddess. But anyways, there's a reason why I'm making this video, and it's not just because I really like the card that much. I genuinely believe that it is the best card in the game because it is the best counter to the best counter to the best strategy. That was kind of confusing, let me rephrase it. Let's just say that you're playing Super Heavy Samurai and you're trying to combo off, but your plays are met with Droll and Logbird. You obviously shouldn't try to overcommit and extend and make like maybe 2 or 3 negates because you're gonna have like pretty much no cards left in your hand at the end since you have to waste everything in your hand to do that since you can't search. So even if you miraculously happen to make a few negates, you're still gonna probably lose because your board is going to be very weak and very easy to pick apart, and you're gonna have absolutely no follow-up next turn. But the thing is, Baguska is the best backup plan when things are looking grim. All you have to do is summon 2 level 4 monsters on the field and then go into Baguska, and sometimes you can do that in 3 summons, so Nibiru is not even like a part of the equation. And because of how easy and fast it is to just summon 2 level 4 monsters, your opponent can have like 5 hand traps and it's not going to change anything. So in hand trap heavy formats, Baguska is actually even better because people have even less good cards against the card. And Baguska typically requires decks to waste a lot of resources before outing it. The Purely deck absolutely cries in front of this card because their only inherent natural out to Baguska with their engine is Sky Striker is Azalea. You have to waste a bunch of Purely quickly spells just to summon some useless ass level 1 monsters and then link off into Azalea and then destroy Baguska. That means that you have to use 2 quickly spell cards and then discard 2 cards, so get rid of 4 cards, or discard 1 spell for 1 quick play and then normal summon a monster, so get rid of 3 cards as well as your normal summon. And because of the fact that you also had to use a Droll to force your opponent into that Baguska in the first place, you pretty much wasted 4 to 5 cards just to have a chance of playing the game. And even then, you're living on a prayer. You got rid of your one and only opponent's monster, meaning that Gamma is now live. And by the time you outed the Baguska, you already went into 3 summons, so the next play you do is probably going to lose to Nibiru. But think about it, you're only going to have 2 cards left in your hand once you're done breaking the Baguska, and your triple tactic talents, if you have it, will not be live because your opponent would not have used a monster effect by that point. That forces you to discard your final card, and then you summon only 1 level 1 purely monster. You have to, really rely on it resolving, and if you get hit by Veiler or Gamma, you lose the game. So if you're a Super Heavy Samurai player, all you need to do to beat a Droll against, Purely, for example, is to turbo out Baguska and have only 1 hand trap, and it should be enough. I keep hearing people hyping the shit out of Droll and saying that it's the end-all be-all against Super Heavy Samurai, but that's just not true. Droll is broken on the premise that your opponent cannot turbo out a floodgate monster like Baguska, or at least that you can out it very quickly. But honestly, I feel like every single deck loses to Baguska, at least to a certain extent. Even the best players out there have to use a lot of brain cells and also luck to out Baguska consistently. Unless, of course, you're good at the game and you're drawing infinite impermanence on top of Droll and Logbird and full combo. At this point, all I have to say is must be nice. The Kashtira deck usually requires at least 2 to 3 cards to out Baguska, and there's only really 1 good out to Baguska. Basically, they have to attack the Baguska with the Scareclaw Kashtira, so if you have like a Veiler to stop the Scareclaw attacking while it's in defense, they have literally no plays. I don't necessarily believe that Baguska is enough on its own to win you the game, but I do believe that it is enough to force your opponent into a much worse play. And to be fair, this usually leads to victory anyways, especially if you also have another interruption on top. Because of the existence of Baguska in the Super Heavy Samurai deck, I can imagine a lot of Sprite players and Purely players giving up on their decks. Even though it is just an extra deck monster with no built-in protection, you must always assume the worst case scenario and expect to out it with your engine, which is really hard. Again, every single deck can out Baguska just with their engine. I'm not saying the opposite, but they have to waste a lot of resources just to get there, so by the time you can finally start playing the game, you're probably gonna start losing to hand traps. The mere existence of Baguska forces you to reassess your deck building strategy altogether. The card is so impactful that you choose your next tournament deck based on how well it performs against Baguska. So yeah, moral of the story, if you want to do well this format, try to play a deck that doesn't lose too hard to Baguska. Anyways, that's all I had to say for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts about this beautiful tapir in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.